Hey, how you guys doing? So we are now on the ninth episode of Love Live Superstar, so we're getting pretty close to the end of the anime. Of course, as normal, if you wish to watch this through the main official source, that would be Crunchyroll. Or if you want to watch it concurrently, you probably have to watch the NHKE or through other sources. And of course, at the end of this episode or review, you can go ahead and rank the girls from 1 to 9, where 1 being your favorite and 9 being your least favorite after this episode. So of course, this episode we have some questions to figure out what's going to happen with Kuku and Suna, because there seems to be some kind of conflict. But let's go ahead and just jump in and figure out what that could possibly be. So this episode will go ahead and starts with the announcement that Layla has successfully qualified for the Tokyo Regionals, and the girls all get congratulated with that. We have Natsumi, who's really happy about the success she's beginning on social media platforms, but even Mei has been getting a lot, and Shiki's like, everyone now realizes how cute you are. And of course, Mei takes it very, very well, just like every Tsunade would possibly take it. So then past that, we have the second years taking a look, and Kuku's trying to figure out if Sunnypa has made it as well. And they figured they would, but when Kuku's looking through the list of qualified teams, they don't find them. So Sunny Passion asks, hey, can you give us a call later? So then the girls go and call them, and they're like, you made it, right? Because like you destroyed it and got there easily, but then Sunnypa's like, you kind of got complacent. So they show a little bit of their performance, no song or anything, but I mean, it looks pretty nice of a stage and whatnot, but they said that they lost to someone who's by herself. Who could that possibly be? Wien Margaret. So, if in case you still remember from a few episodes ago, in episode 3, she had her Butterfly Wing song where she had that stellar performance that really got everybody floored, especially with Sunny Paw when they saw that and they're like, wow, she's actually really good. So these girls give them advice to, be careful because once you lose, it's over. And of course, you can remind you guys, these are third years, so this is their last Love Live. So these girls kind of tear up because, they realize it's all over for them. So this kind of shakes these girls a little bit. But before that happens, these girls go ahead and get a celebration with a cake, and Kuku, who's looking at some news, well, Aria looks at it and notices, oh, that girl was here not too long ago. And these girls were like, wait, so she's scouting us here? So Natsumi and Shiki try to crack a plan, saying maybe if we poison her or something like that, she will have an unfortunate incident on that day and can't perform, and that's an easy victory. But probably not the best, and Kanon seems to like almost hallucinate seeing Wien just showing up in the shop. The first years go and leave, but then the second years decide they have to have an important meeting. And that's kind of the thing, is where they're looking at the previous performance. They're like, the first years are still considerably behind the second years, and what should they do? And they kind of trying to figure out, should we just perform without them? And Kuku's like, we could just ramp it up, but what if they try too hard and end up becoming hindrance because they are out of gas? But the girls decide, for right now, maybe they should just ramp it up a little bit, and hopefully they'll catch up, and that won't make them too tired. But then as Kuku leaves, Sumina follows her, and well, it starts raining conveniently, just like every anime moment. It's something sad happens, which you can see Kuku kind of tear up, and Sumina's like, if you lose, you gotta go to Shanghai. And Kuku's like, I just can't tell them, and I just want to perform happily with them. And she runs away. I guess almost like a demon version of Adventure. Jake from Adventure Time just falls off, and Suna picks it up. Meanwhile, Kano was just chilling in her shop. She hears some noise, and I guess her creepy stalker is back, ready to be cocky and show her up and saying, I'm gonna win, and you suck, and I'm gonna blow you away, and all that. So clearly, that's her thing. But in Sumina, when she gets back, she goes into her room, and then she sees this crown again. If you remember, this is from season 1, this crown. This was the crown that Kuku gave her, and she used this and became the center for non-fiction, song that everyone likes from season 1. So this definitely has a big impact on Sumina, because, that kind of is what brought her into the idol scene, and that was given to her by Kuku. So then we jump to the next day, and Cuckoo's like, all right, guys, we got a slightly practice. It's just going to be a little bit harder. But then Sumina's like, stop. I just think second year should only perform, and that's the way to make it into the finals. And she kind of gets this hard stance. And all the other girls are like, no, we want everyone to perform. But in the first years are kind of like, I don't know, we don't want to lose, though. And we rather not be a hindrance. But again, the second years are not happy about that. And they say, I don't want to do this because what's the point of winning if we win without them? But as you can see in the scene, Sumina is glancing over at Cuckoo, and that kind of shows her motivations for kind of being that bad guy, where she's trying to say, we have to win at any cost, even if that means sacrificing the first year's ability to perform. And she's doing this again because of Cuckoo. Again, no one else really notices beyond these two girls, so Sumina is kind of trying to play the necessary evil and make it so the blame comes to her. And she even uses excuses. I want to be back in the showbiz. And she tries to introduce this selfish reason, which of course gets kind of sad and mad at her. And you can see from this reaction that Sumina kind of doesn't believe that, but she tries to force us to say, I'm the bad guy, and we got to do this, even though this is for Cuckoo's sake. And Cuckoo's not happy about that. And you can see when she goes back to her shrine, she doesn't want to be that bad guy. And we see that her sister actually found that toy, and Sumina's like, no, you can't have that. But back at that shrine, we have the first years come up, and they kind of do a little humming, singing session. And they say that's how they feel, which means they don't want to perform in the next round. And Sumina's like, wait, but no, you should. I don't want you to get girls to do that. Which, of course, confuses the first years because she just said, hey, we should only have a second to perform. But Cuckoo comes and tells her, what's important is that we got to sing together. And why are you sacrificing yourself for me? And, Sumina's like, I want you to still beat her. And she shows her that crown to Cuckoo and shows that, you helped me out, so it's my turn to help you out. And even if that means I have to be the bad guy, I want you to stay here and perform with these girls. And you can't go back to Shanghai. So this is officially when the rest of the girls get the idea that, oh, what is at stake here? But Cuckoo then has given Sumina a hug, kind of show that, she really does appreciate what she tries to do. But, what's important is that they all still perform together and try their hardest together. And she says she hates her, but also loves her, and just showing that out of context. But, this shows that the girls have making up, and that they're just going to ramp up the practice a lot more in order to make sure these first years close that gap. And you can see that Cuckoo and Sumina poke fun at each other, but in the end, they have an understanding of each other and that they still care about each other. So that kind of ends up that saga, and now the girls are ready to do some special training to get the girls catched up. And I know some people wondering what is the who's singing in the ending. We have, of course, two obvious ones. Cuckoo and Sumina will be performing, and then we have the preview for the next episode. I don't have a whole lot of guesses on what this can mean. We see it snowing, which of course tells, it's late in the year. Don't know what this is, but they're surprised at something. And this shows Mei and Ren are composing, which will have Mei doing some piano stuff. So of course then next we have the Leila no Uta. This one, we already seen the song. This is just a Shiki version of the one from before, which was sung by Mei. So let's get a preview of that song. So we got to see Shiki with her powered skates, and we got to see her interact with, of course, her turtle as well as Mei, and have kind of their moments together and whatnot. And it's very much like that tropical style song that we had before. So I don't know, pretty cute and whatnot. But that will be the end of this episode. So of course, what did you guys think about the situation these girls had? Now that the rest of the girls finally know what is at stake, we know that Sumina and Cuckoo have been kind of keeping this under the wraps, but now the rest of the girls realize, of course they want to win. That's very important. But now we realize that, Cuckoo potentially has to go back if they don't win. Maybe that might not be the case. Maybe they still don't win or whatever. but then Cuckoo doesn't go back because they're like, oh, well, you got to the finals and lost. That's good enough for me, maybe. And maybe that's the case. Maybe it's not. But at least the girls understand the situation now. And, of course, the resolution was kind of pretty much the obvious solution. Is that, the girls that are behind just need to put extra effort to catch up. Don't work yourself to the bone and work yourself to death and make it so by the time when you actually perform, you can't perform because you're so dead tired and whatnot. But obviously these girls have to put in extra effort to catch up and to make sure that they can perform to the standards that their second years themselves can do. And, in the win, Margaret has shown that she is not someone that they can easily beat. And they have to put forward a lot more effort because, Leela couldn't beat Sunny Passion. Suddenly, Sunny Passion got absolutely destroyed by Wien. So, it goes to show that, these girls just have to try a lot harder and put in a lot of effort. And, second years have to put in effort to make sure the first years catch up. And the first years themselves have to put in a lot of effort to get better. But in the end, the resolution was, I don't feel like it was the obvious one, but I get that, Sumina is trying to be objective in her decision. And she wants to potentially maximize the ability for these girls to win, and that is sacrificing the first years in that performance, which of course it kind of goes against what Kanon's goal and many of the others. Why did they expand in the first place? To introduce more girls to their group and to continue the idol tradition that they are trying to establish in that school. But I figured there could be strength in numbers if done properly, and that's what they got to focus on. But let me know what you guys thought about this episode and how it was executed, and how did you feel about the girls' motivations, and did you feel like that was a realistic expectation for these girls and their conflicts as well? And, I can definitely understand where Sumina was coming from, and I appreciate the fact that, she was willing to kind of become that bad guy because she cares that much about Cuckoo and she doesn't want them to leave. Despite the fact that these girls, bicker a lot and they poke fun at each other a lot, they still do care about each other a lot. And, Cuckoo's the one who got Sumina in and got over her antics, as well as, I always got to be in showbiz and want to, she's the one who brought Sumina to become an idol, and I feel some people keep forgetting that. But let me know what you guys think about these girls, and how has this episode changed your opinions on some of these girls, or maybe it didn't really change your opinion. I'm curious to see what you guys think in the comments below. Of course, there's always that poll, the link in the description, where you can rank these girls, and maybe this really changed your opinion on Sumina, Cuckoo, or the other girls. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. We got only a few episodes left before the end of the season, and we'll see if there will be more after season 2. My guess is probably, but we don't know yet. Alright, thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys in another video soon.